Don't let one bad leg haunt your parlay. Parlays turn into payouts, and now even near misses won't haunt your bet. The NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg, a new game-changing promotion that turns close calls into cold, hard cash. Best of all, it's available to all DraftKings customers. Here's how it works. Build any 3+ leg pregame NFL parlay on Sunday, apply your Ghost Leg token, and if one leg loses, DraftKings makes it vanish like it never existed and pays you out in cash for the rest. Last season, over 30 million parlays were lost by a single leg. This year, Ghost Leg gives those busted bets a second life. No more busted parlays that haunt you all season. With Ghost Leg, the bad leg vanishes. The payout doesn't. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PFF. That's code PFF to unlock Ghost Leg, the promotion that makes one bad leg disappear and pays you out in real cash. Ghost your losses, get your payout in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Bills and Jets. The Jets are hosting this one. The Bills coming off a thrilling win. The Jets coming off a disappointing loss where it felt like they did everything right on the offensive side of the ball. AFC East showdown. What do we think here, Dalton? Which side of the ball you want to take?
All right, so let's look at Josh Allen a little bit. And obviously he was great last week because he's great darn near every week. That's just how this works. And the Jets, you mentioned they did a lot right on offense. They did a lot right on defense too, except in the secondary. We'll leave Sauce Gardner out of this. He had a great game last week. But the rest of those guys, it was coverage busts, it was missed assignments. And then what you have from this Jets team, philosophically, with Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes running this defense, being so different from Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich in the old regime, a lot more man coverage, a whole lot more man coverage, the same way we saw from Aaron Glenn in Detroit when they were the highest rate man coverage team in the league last year. The Jets ran the fifth most man coverage, the fifth highest rate of man coverage, I should say, in the league last week against Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers took advantage. Josh Allen has an interesting split against the Ravens last week, who have a much deeper secondary than the Jets. He had a 93.4 passing grade last week against zone coverage, but only a 52 passing grade against man. And what you get from Josh Allen is, depending on the looks, and look, he's got a super high football IQ. It gets better every single year. He understands what he should be able to do against man and against zone coverage. Against zone, you're going to nickel and dime. You're going to move the chains. You're not going to take too many shots downfield unless somebody busts on the back end. Against man coverage, a lot of times, you talk about these mobile quarterbacks against man-to-man, and if you don't have a spy or maybe even two on a guy like Josh Allen, you really get burned with his legs. And Josh Allen last year was the highest graded quarterback in the NFL, a 90.4 overall grade against man coverage, in large part because he had a 91.7 rushing grade against it. In passing grade, he was like 10th or 11th. He was still solid. He had an 80 passing grade, but if you turn your backs and you don't have a super athletic spy, and even then Josh Allen might break the tackle anyway, if he gets in trouble and he sees all this man-to-man coverage, I think it could be a big day for Josh Allen running the football in scramble situations. Aaron Glenn is going to need to have a plan for this, and Joe Brady's very good at designing route concepts to beat man coverage anyway. We saw that last year when the Bills went into Detroit and scored, 45 points, I think it was. But you have to be able to contain Josh Allen on the ground if you're going to run this much man coverage. Is it Quincy Williams as the spy? Is it somebody else? Who in the world can contain Josh Allen out on the move when you're playing man coverage? That's a big question for Aaron Glenn on defense this week.
It's essentially an impossible ask. But for the New York Jets, it's interesting. I think that they probably opened up the season and they're like, well, it's going to be a tough day at the office when it comes to what we want to do, rushing the football against the Pittsburgh Steelers to open things up. But against the Bills, the Bills have struggled in run defense, and they really struggled in run defense again last week against the Ravens. Now, I understand it's Lamar and Derrick Henry. It's the cream of the crop. It's the very top options that you're going to face in this league. But still, they had a 48.4 run defense grade against the Baltimore Ravens last week. You highlighted some of the struggles from the linebacker. Bernard had a 38.8 run defense grade. Milano 29.8. Dorian Williams a 60.9. I mean, their linebacker level just was not good when it came to defending the run, and we know that's what the Jets want to do. Last week, the Jets 182 total rushing yards. That was fourth most in the NFL. 39 rushing attempts. That was second most in the NFL. Yards before contact average, 1.5. That was top 10. That was 10th in the NFL. And so this is one of these games where I think a lot of people might look at it on paper. They might say, well, the Jets are going to lose a lot of football games this year, and the Buffalo Bills could potentially win the Super Bowl. So this should be a very obvious, not even close, the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. I have the Bills winning. I have them winning 30-27. Like, I don't think the Jets are going to score as much as they did last week, but like 27, 24 points, something like that. Like, I could absolutely see it for the way that the Jets offensive line played last week against a really good Steelers defensive line, like you mentioned, how savvy they were in running away from their biggest threat of TJ Watt and the output they were able to have there. I think that they will be able to exploit the Buffalo Bills front and their linebacker level, like we have seen over the last couple of years when we've been worried about this Buffalo Bills run defense. So do I think it's going to be enough? No. But I do actually think that as long as the Jets don't turn the ball over, if they play a clean game, this could absolutely be a one-possession game when the clock strikes 0 at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and credit to the coaching staff. You can tell Aaron Glenn is not messing around when it comes to trying to win ball games. He was trying to win that ball game against Pittsburgh last week, and it's funny you mentioned turnovers. The one turnover they did have was the Xavier Gibson fumble on the kick return. Xavier Gibson got cut this morning, and Aaron Glenn basically said that was pretty much going to happen in his post-game presser on Sunday. He got cut. They're going to have a new kick returner back there. He is not messing around. If you're not executing and you do things, he mentioned it, if you do things that cost us games, you're not going to be on the field. You're not going to be on this team. So he's not messing around when it comes to the culture shock of this. And if the Jets run the ball as well as they did last week, then they are a threat to beat anybody, especially this Bills defense. I love the way that Tanner Engstrand had a really good plan, again, running away from TJ Watt. Watt generally lines up on that right side of the offense. This week, my focus guy is Greg Rousseau. He lines up a little more evenly on both sides, but I'm finding ways to run away from Greg Rousseau and attack some of those other guys, Joey Bosa and some of the other younger guys that the Bills have on the inside. That being said, Josh Allen's still the best player on the field. I still think he's going to find a way to get this done. I'm with you. I think this very well could be high scoring. I got the Bills 34, Jets 27. We will see if it gets wider than that based on if Justin Fields can bring last week's passing production into this week. But the Bills defense is still concerning to me, and they're going to keep a lot of teams in games that they shouldn't.